We had a very interesting Monday in the markets today. Interactive brokers, Robinhood, and some other exchanges were down again. Volume is on the light side today. Let's take a look at what happened. We're going to take a look here at the S&P 500. We'll also be looking at the Nasdaq. We're going to take a look at the DXY over here and see what is happening if perhaps the dollar is slightly bit over here, how much longer that might continue or might not. And it's a bit puzzling over here to see the price action of gold and silver. We're going to take a look at it. Why do I say it's puzzling? Because of the fact that stimulus talks have once again have been put on hold or delayed. And also the dollar is bid today. Why are we seeing gold and silver once again bid? We're going to take a look at what's going on technically over there. We're going to get and paint ourselves a really good picture, doing our best here to stay on the right side of the market. And that includes Bitcoin over here. A lot of talk of this being an interim top over here on Bitcoin. We're going to take a look and I'm going to share my thoughts about how I see that, being that on the way up here and for many months, I've seemed to have a good read on it. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, welcome back. We're going to start here with the S&P 500. I'm going to do it here on the daily time frame, and I want you to see that it has been a non-event. S&P 500 is closing pretty much unchanged here on the day. Is that a doji? Is that perhaps a worrying sign? That's not really, I'm not worried about any type of candle formation over here or any price action to lead me to believe anything is different except for this bullish structure all across the indexes. And we did have a bit of a mixed result today with the Nasdaq up 0.5% and the Dow down 0.5%. Nevertheless, we're going to take a look at all of that. There's one thing I want to say over here, and I said it the last time, was all the way back the first week of August, when I felt like at this point, equities are once again risky. And I really do think that they are very risky. I think going into the next couple of weeks, be very careful, be very much on your toes. Do not feel safe simply because we do have this enormously bullish structure in the markets. Be on alert here for a coming pullback over the next week, week and a half. I'm watching for one. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to me. Now, by the way, next time I said that, a couple of things happened. First of all, the equity markets did melt up. Now, just for a little bit of perspective, it was sometime around, let's call it the beginning of May. It was between the end of April, the middle of April, and the middle of May when I was taking a look and basically said only long on equity markets at this point up until that first week of August. And then I said profit objectives have been met across the board. At this point, the markets are risky. They melted up before melting down. And at that point, they were risky because at this point, they were very volatile. Being on the sidelines made the most sense over there. And then when it was time to get back into the markets, I let everyone know when technically we were looking get good, not just on the S&P 500, but when the Nasdaq was also joining the party over here. At that point, it was the green light. At this point, I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit concerned. I think that you should proceed with caution. Nasdaq up 0.5% today. And again, everything looks entirely bullish. Technically, we are looking at a bullish market. And if you want to continue following price, of course, that's always the be all and end all of everything. However, a couple of notes. So we're looking at potential further lockdowns over here. Last time that happened, of course, everything was going through a liquidity crisis and you saw equities sold hard, not just equities, whatever the asset was, it was basically sold. We're in a different type of situation right now. What's that different type of situation? We're not seeing any problems of dollar shortages. We don't have any repo issues whatsoever. There are no dollar liquidity issues. It's an entirely different situation. We're going to look at gold and silver that would bid today. I'm wondering over here as we're seeing the turn again, once again, to further lockdowns, and who knows where this is going to take us. It looks like that tech once again is performing best in that environment. And then over here, you could see the Dow still looks technically very bullish over here. Look at this beautiful, beautiful channel developing after breaking to new all-time highs over here on the Dow. And the Russell is unchanged on the day. Is that perhaps the only thing I said this morning to everyone, this was the only one possibly cause for concern, and that was because we were watching that ascending wedge, which then looked like it formed a bull a bull flag, which we were able to watch and take advantage of. But now we're back into that resistance, right? So watch what happens over here. We'll see if the Russell is the canary in the coal mine or not. Nevertheless, if the equity markets, or I should say when the equity markets look like they're a little bit more attractive, at that point, we will be tracking them. The one thing I don't want to become is, let's call it traditional finance 1.0. All of the macro guys, all of the funds, all of the institutions who back over here when it didn't make sense, when they were not really paying attention to the central bank and global liquidity, but paying attention to the economy, they missed out on this whole ride over here. Same thing over here. Things don't seem right to me anymore. I'm sounding the alarm here. At the same time, what I am watching, I'm always watching my back. I'm watching if we just get into a situation over here where nothing matters. And as this further, because right now I just want to skip over to gold and silver. Why are gold and silver continue to be bid over here? I'm going to come back down to the 8-hour time frame. They were trading all the way down over here this morning as we went in the live stream, and then they just shot up this $30 over here intraday. It was a big move. It happened while we were on the live stream. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting us to see if we run into some trouble over here, into this resistance. I put this blue box over here, and then I said, if we're able to clear above there, reflipping this into support, that does open up another leg on gold. If that's where you're interested in deploying your money, the move, which was much further than I expected. Here you can see it on silver. What's interesting is that today, the package, the 900 billion supposedly bipartisan bill that was floated, it was, details are not going to be released today. It was pushed once again. The can keeps getting kicked. I think the market understands that that's not important. What's important is that more stimulus is eventually coming. What that looks like and when that happens, that's a different story. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the government there with stimulus. The Fed is going to do everything they need to do to keep monetary policy not only as easy as possible, but as abundant as possible. And those are the trends. Those are the trends that we have in front of us. When I come back here and I look at the indexes, I'm worried. My only concern, if that things break, if this further lockdown causes a really dire situation and they actually need to come in with massive amount of stimulus, we could see, as we've seen already, the US dollar supply increased by 20% in 2020. If we do see a further increase in the supply of dollars, we'll see further weakness of the dollar, which is already over here breaking down. It's at yearly lows. We're going to take a look at what's happening today. We're going to take look at the levels we need to be aware of. But if we continue to see this dollar plummet, if we see this support down over here at 88.40 tested, and a break below there, because a break below there could take us somewhere down 80 on the DXY. That's a significant move, and it could happen, right? So if that's happening, what's going to happen over here to the equities? Will equities keep rising in that environment, that weak dollar environment? What happened in Venezuela is always in the back of my mind. As the economy went down, the stock market just continued to rise. That could very much, I'm not trying to compare the United States to Venezuela because there's really nothing you could compare them to. Only the fact here that we did what we saw happen with the economy in Venezuela and what we did see happen in the stock market, the Venezuelan stock market. So what else do we have next over here? Let's look at the dollar over here. Now, the first thing that I want you to be aware of is this trend line over here. I'm just going to extend it down over here. As long as we're trading under that, we are extremely bearish on the dollar. If we were to trade back above this trend line at any point, by the way, we still have this resistance over here at 92.20 to get above. There's a lot for the dollar that needs to do to repair itself. It doesn't look like that is the direction it's headed. You saw over here this spike up on the dollar overnight, back above this resistance here that it's closing at 90.83. That was largely because of the repricing of the pound. Once negotiations between the EU and the UK have seemingly are about to break down, you saw the pound sell off. The dollar over here was bid on that. It seems to be noise right now. However, look, it's an ongoing situation. We don't know what's going to happen exactly with Brexit, and we don't know how the market's going to react. It's true that if there were a hard exit and the pound got devalued initially on that, we could see that repriced in the dollar. But pay attention to what the signal you're seeing today. The dollar is up today. The dollar is, not by much, but it is up. And gold and silver are up handsomely. Is it possible? I don't think so, but I want to throw it out there to you. Is it possible that gold is bid here also because of possible risk aversion during Brexit? It could be. I don't know. What I do know is what's happening here technically. Taking out this blue box over here, this area of resistance, was a big deal. Look, if I zoom out, I want to look at this with you, and I want to see like a couple of things, right? Would you say that's bullish or bearish? And Jordan, would say that's extraordinarily bullish. By the way, this is the trend line that we broke out from over here. This set off the bull market in gold, which I really do think is still just getting started over here. But we want to drill this down a little further, and we want to look here from a swing trader's perspective. We want to see if there's any opportunity, right? Remember when all of a sudden price shot up over here? It was down 15% off the high. Technically, there was nothing going on here for me. All of a sudden gold shot up. Thought maybe it was bargain hunters over there. That was the day that stimulus talks came back into the forefront of the conversation. That happened later in the day. It was almost as if gold was preemptive of that. Nevertheless, this is when it has been brought to our attention over here. Come down to the 8-hour time frame, looking for an entry. As we're into this resistance over here, this was not a place nor a pullback that I wanted to look for an entry over here. Price shot up above this area, takes us to where it's now. So right now, what are you doing? What are you thinking? For me, I want to see gold above 1875 before I start looking for another test at 1914. I'll be pretty cautious on that attempt. And if we get above it, I'm going to feel really good about gold. Right now here, definite no man's land for myself. A pullback to test either this line over here, that's at 1856. Or the support below it, and I'm going to move them over to support right now while you're here with me, 1848. Any holds of either one of those levels, that would bring up a swing trading opportunity to go long here on the precious metals. Right now, if you're not already long and holding and nursing this position, which I don't know anyone who's taking a new position in the last few days on it. Watch out over here. You're in no man's land, and now you know where your stop is, right? Now you know where your stop is. Any retest of these two supports and resumption off, that would bring in the aggressive traders who, for whatever reason, wanted to trade gold. And maybe we'll take a look at Bitcoin in one moment. Maybe it is the time to get into gold over Bitcoin. Silver also, don't those words sound funny coming out of my mouth? I know they do, but that was kind of a lead. So we'll talk about that in a second. Silver over here, turning a very important level over here, 24.30 into support. That is good. That is interesting. However, I'm not sold on it. Watch out for the volatility. It comes to the upside and downside over here. I have to say, and I continue to say, look, if silver crosses 96, at that point, the momentum's there. At that point, I think we're looking to take out the yearly high on silver, and it'll become very attractive when it's in play. It's not yet. I know a lot of people are attracted to the moves. They're really not that big moves either that we've seen in the precious metals. What about silver, the more volatile of the bunch? It's trading now up. I'm sorry, I take that back. That's a 12% move. That's a big move in any market, any way you look at it. That's a nice move over there for sure. What about Bitcoin over here? Bitcoin seems to be stuck today at the 19,000 level. It's still hugging this area, this trend line over here. We looked at it this morning. It's still hugging it. It could go either way, and that's the only thing to say about it. A lot of people right now are saying Bitcoin is just simply at a level where it needs a pullback. That pullback will be healthy. Listen, a lot of those people are just like, again, this finance 1.0 macro guys who like all of a sudden to talk about Bitcoin, and that's great, and everyone's opinion is valuable. There's no question about that. I don't know, and I have to say that all year long, which has been beautiful, on many different markets, Bitcoin is the one that I've had the firmest, strongest read on. I know I think I've helped the most people get into this trade. And not only that, there was an occasion right over here in early September when I had a blue box around this area. Some people got upset that I didn't know which way it was going to go, right? I had this blue box and I said, we could go either way, 50-50. I don't know which way we go from here. We could break down, and if we do, we're going to test this 9,000, 9,100 area of support. I think that holds. If it doesn't, watch out for 8,800. I was very clear and firm about that. And at the same time, I said, it's 50-50. We could break to the upside. That's what happened. We're in a similar situation. I don't know which way we're going to break over here. It could go either way. Now, everyone knows prior what happened on my charts over there. Everybody knows that on this first attempt into this area over here, I took a little off at 18,932, and then I was looking for the pullback. I have to say that I was right on time. We did get a 15% pullback. It's not the one that I was looking for. I was looking for a 30% pullback down towards this area over here. It didn't happen. And not only that, we've since retraced and made higher highs over here. So that leads me to believe it's entirely possible, if this is the low over here, that we're looking at $40,000 next on Bitcoin. That's to say that 40,000 will come before breaking over here at 16,000. Now, I don't want that to lead you to FOMO at this point. I don't think there should be any fear of missing out. I feel like everyone should be fully positioned into Bitcoin while expecting at any point at least a 30% pullback, which would take us, by the way, right into this area over here at 13,600. It could be more than 30%. We had a 39% pullback last cycle. Be aware that that could happen. However, fear of missing out means that you're getting into a trade because you think that it's just going to get away with you. And if you're not there, you lost it. I don't think anyone should have the fear of missing out. I think everyone should have the perspective of missing out, though. Meaning there is a limited amount of time that Bitcoin is still trading under $20,000. And as each block is gone ahead and confirmed, the chances of that happening are more and more, that soon 20,000 will come and go. And eventually they will be out of the range for a 30% or more pullback. It's just not going to happen. And I don't believe in the coming bear market that we're going to see prices near $20,000. So where does that leave us now? It leaves us in a blue box situation as far as Jordan's concerned. I don't know what's going to happen from here. It's about 50-50. It's about 50-50 whether or not we break up from here, right? What would be the next bit of resistance? I think it's somewhere around, let's say, let me just show you exactly where it is, just so no one's guessing. It's over here. It's around 21,000. I guess just right around 21,000. I can't read the number on the right. Let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. No, that's not going to do it. It's around 21,000. That's the next area of a little bit of resistance. Obviously, it's not a big level. Once you start making new all-time highs, we need to find out what the new support, what the new resistance is in those areas to work off of. That's why we have my prime trend line over here cloned to give us all these levels. I see how many traders have adopted it, how useful it is. Look over here. Those are the areas we'll be watching on the way up. However, if you're going to call it 21, is that 21,000 or 22? Yeah, it's almost 22,000. I'm sorry, I couldn't read the number. It's about 21,850. Call it 22,000. That's next from where we are, or 50-50 pull back towards the little bit of support over here in this area. Let's call it 17,000, 16,800. It's 50-50 which way we go, and I can't even give you a blue box and say if we break down out of there, that's where it is. That's the situation, and the fact that I'm able to show you that the situation is not clear in this moment, that's the best insight I could give, and I appreciate and understand the value of that. A lot of people feel like that someone should always have the answers, and that's not how the market is. That's not how the market is, but knowing that this is not a time to go ahead and step in with clarity, that's also a strong position to be in. And I also believe for myself, for my family and closest friends, for me, the risk, and that means all of you, the risk right now, in my opinion, is not being fully positioned into Bitcoin. What does fully positioned mean in? That means whatever position you want to have for this bull market, at this point, which the bull market is roaring. Here's where it started. And I wanted everyone fully positioned by over here. Everyone should have been fully positioned over here, right? Coming into the start of the bull market. If you're not over here, there is a sense of urgency. Yes, but Jordan, we're going to pull back to 13,000. Maybe. I don't have that crystal ball. I don't know. I was expecting a pullback. It wasn't what I expected. It was only half of what I expected. The one before that was only 20%, and the one before that was only 20%. There's something going on here that I need to adapt to. That's what traders do. Just be careful. The other thing, let's take a look at Ethereum over here. Still looks quite nice over there. Look, it's a matter of time, in my opinion, before Ethereum breaks out above 620, right? Will you get another chance at 504? I don't know. You had that chance last week. We had a chance last week at 504. Now, I did say scaling in at 504 was where you begin, but I thought we would also come back to 441. We didn't. All coins are off a little bit today. That's fine. They're mixed. What else is there? Let's check out Ethereum, Bitcoin over here. This continues. I continue to stock this. I believe Ethereum over the next few months is going to outperform Bitcoin handsomely. Watching over there. Is it time to call an entry on a higher high? I think so. Let me pull up the True Trend BTC really quick just to get a look at it with you right now, see where we're at. Look at this. This is beautiful. If you haven't seen the video on the Bitcoin playlist, A Beginner's Strategy to Bitcoin, I think it is one of the most beautiful, elegant, simplest, and most advanced strategies you use to trade Bitcoin. Anyone who's using it is going to accumulate Bitcoin during the 4-year cycle better than most everyone else. Now, I think the same strategy should be applied right here. This right here is when it calls for paying attention as you're getting a back and forth of the trend CCI over here. Be careful over there. As this comes over on the 12-hour, I would use a higher high, I guess, above that level right over there. What is that? That's coming in at 0.0315. A higher high over there would trigger that. That would be my trigger. You want to stay as long as the true trend histograms keep printing above zero line long on this. This could be a big move that's occurring. That's the way I would trade it. It also came up about trading the pound after the Brexit, and I think a similar situation should be deployed. Look at that price work on the pound. This was the pound selling off, and then since this right now, it's retracing into an area of resistance. Watch a resumption off of that. Let's take a look at this. This is the pound US dollar over here. Watch as we've now broke down, have bounced up over here. Watch if we're rejected again down over there. That's a look at the markets. Remember, low volume day, unchanged on the day. Jordan calls out again. I did it again in August, first week of August. Equities look risky at these levels over here. You see Tesla flying. Was Tesla up 7% today? Tesla's up 7% today. Look at this. Tesla, by the way, was up about 600% on the year, right? Some people made tremendous money on this. What a fantastic trade. You have rid the rocket, and that's awesome. Right? Let's see what 2021 holds. Anyone have any opinions whether or not they believe Tesla trades lower on this date 1 year from now, $643? Is Tesla trading lower or higher than 643 1 year from now? I'm interested to hear what you all think. Everyone, I'll see you in the morning. Thanks for being here. If you're still here, smash that like button, and I'll see you in the morning.